Hello, everybody. How are you? Early morning here in Hollywood. That street light right there, the next light, that's the corner of Hollywood and Vine. We're looking down Vine south toward Hollywood Boulevard. That's the Hollywood Pantages Theater over on the left there. And this is the Capitol Records building. Famous for looking like a stack of records. Guys, we're just shooting videos out here in the early morning. This particular one is going to continue the series on Catholic terms explained. Let me set this down. The term that we're going to talk about today is a little bit more obscure. You don't hear about it in everyday conversation, but it's called the East-West Schism. And it's kind of interesting because the old school, well, basically they split the church is what happened. Okay, so in the medieval times, you just had one Christian church, and then it was split. It was split between the Eastern or Greek side and the Western or Latin side. And so the Eastern side became the Eastern Orthodox Church, or what's known as the Eastern Orthodox Church, and then the West side became the Roman Catholic Church. So if you ever wondered where those dang Catholics came from, that's how it became. Now, it's kind of like how the National Hockey League is constantly. I mean, it used to be the original six. Life was easy. In the National Hockey League, they had the original six guys. Who are they? Oh, you know that it's the Chicago Blackhawks, the Boston Bruins, the Detroit Red Wings, the New York Rangers, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and my Montreal Canadiens, Les Habitants. But then they expanded, of course, as sports leagues do. In 1967, they added 6 teams. But life was still simple. You had the East Division and the West Division. The East Division was the Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Detroit Red Wings, the Montreal Canadiens, the New York Rangers, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the West Division was, the Los Angeles Kings, the Minnesota North Stars, the Oakland Seals, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the St. Louis Blues. They put all of the expansion teams in the West Division. Does that mean that the Roman Catholic arm of that split in the church was the expansion? were we the expansion and the East and the, what do they call it? The Orthodox side, Greek Orthodox side. Was that the original 6 kind of like? But then in 1970, right around there, they expanded to 14 teams. They added the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks. Then they went to 16 teams. A couple years later, they added the Atlanta Flames and the New York Islanders. Then they went to 18 teams in like 74, right around there. That's right. And you're saying the Washington Capitals? Well, more or less, Washington Capitals. And a team called the Kansas City Scouts. And by this time, they had changed the East/West divisions into the Wales and Campbell divisions. The what? I'm leaving out all kinds of details I'm leaving out the World Hockey Association and all that stuff, but just to give you a broad brushstrokes here. And then the Wales and the Campbell, this was a very confusing time period. The Wales division was split into Adams and Norris, okay, and so then so let me do that again. What was the East Division became the Wales or Prince of Wales Conference, And then the West became the Clarence Campbell Conference, or just Campbell Conference. Still with me? And then the Wales Conference was split into the Adams Division and the Norris Division. And the Campbell Conference was split into the Patrick Division and the Smith Division. Smith is in Conn Smythe Trophy, probably Smythe. Oh, guys, who came up with that? Who was the person that came up with all that back in the day, man? All these Campbells, Wales, Smith, Norris, Patrick, Adams. That's not how people think of athletic leagues. It's just not how they do, right? So finally, in '93, right in there, they just made it East and West, right? And then the East had the Atlantic and the Northeast divisions, and then the Western Conference became the Central and Pacific. Yay! So much easier. So you could say the early Christian church was smart. They just made it simple. One side, Greek Orthodox, the other side, Latin Roman Catholic. And that's the way it's been ever since. National Hockey League, take your cue from the church. Much easier.